Guys, sorry I'm late. I wasn't paying attention to the stream and was busy trying to make a new background. So here I am. And I wonder, where are all of y'all? Where are all of y'all? I realized as I sat down, no, it's not going to work. This background is not going to work. Let's see. Hey, Cricket, how are you? Hey, Janelle, how are you? It's nice to see you guys rolling in. I need to know which background y'all prefer. This one or that one? The Christmas tree? Inside or the outside one? I definitely need to get a new green screen for my background because the computer is having a very hard time telling who is me and who is not. You like this one better? Okay. Let me then no, let's make that not moving, please. Not moving. No. That's what we'll do. We'll fix it that way. The Christmas tree is almost Asian. You guys like the bird one? Okay. Okay. It's given the computer fits. Hey Adam, how are you doing? I'm glad you guys like it. I can make it a little more clear if you like it that much. You like it like that, or do you like it more shadowy, more blurry? See, that's what I don't like. It's really having trouble determining where's the AI and where's not the AI. So you guys, we are on chapter 4, and I have told you and told you and told you. Oh, who was first here? Wait up. Janelle, were you first? You were, Janelle. You win. You win, Janelle. And check it out. I love it. Yes, the blur is a problem. Me moving around is a problem. But if you guys like it, then we'll just leave it here. Janelle, I am incredibly jealous. Check out this. What do you guys think? Is that not amazing? You were first, Janelle. Okay. And I also have Hi Shenanigans. Think of the blur as an angelic patina? Yes. Janelle, I will email this to you. Shenanigans, it's nice to see you, sir. How are you doing? We watched last night. Cricket, you are channeling my watch history here. Last night, we watched the Amazon Prime Christmas movie called Red One. And it is exceptional. Well, I don't know about exceptional. It was fun. What am I saying? It was fun. Look at that little munchkin. Isn't he adorable? Oh my goodness. Sound asleep. Sound asleep. Hanging out. So I know Adam's read the chapter. I've read the chapter. Has anybody else read the chapter? I am just curious. I am very curious. Orion. What's the problem there, buddy? Hmm? You're facing the road. Which review went from, yeah, well, because I was just talking, not thinking it through. I was thinking more of the picture that is brilliant, but the movie was entertaining. It was not the best movie on the planet, but we watched the whole thing and it entertained us. It was fun. It didn't suck at the end. It was a Christmas movie as they go. So I did kind of change horses halfway through that one, didn't I? It it had a Santa sleigh rocket like this one. Nobody approves of fun. You're just here to enjoy the fun and keep the peace. So it was a fun movie talking about Santa Claus, and it reminded me of Cricket. Do we need to get you a copy of the book? Do you have a desire to read the book? Because I'm sure we could come up with some way for you to read the book. Yeah, Adam. Sorta. Sorta. Santa is kidnapped. And The Rock and Captain America need to save him. Yes, anyone who didn't read the book can totally discuss the themes. Have no fear. I am just I understand, Cricket. I understand that one. Hello, how are you? It is very nice to see you as always. Thank you for the roses. Janelle, I want to send this to you right now. Nope, I can't. I'll have to send it to you later. It's going to take me too long to try to send it to you right now. So this book, this chapter, exactly, Adam. Exactly. So, Tatum, what's your hors d'oeuvre? Do you have a charcuterie or a vegetable tray? My main dish is that we actually dug into Scientology for the first time in this book, in this chapter. And it actually struck home for me a couple of times in this chapter for things that I know about and have personally engaged in. So, the last chapter, Captain America once took a dump in your neighbor's trash can. Facts or no facts? You have an alchemical sampler. Ooh, Adam, I would love that. Captain America once took a dump in my neighbor's trash can. An alchemical sampler. Maybe I need to come up with some way to serve that at Christmas. Yeah, Janelle, if you email Cricket, Cricket will email it to you. I just can't do it. I mean, I'll do it happily after if you'd prefer. It's fine. I just can't easily do it while I'm trying to read and talk and entertain all of you all. I have to make, so tomorrow I am making fudge. I am making fudge from scratch. Mutation as guided evolution is alchemical. How is it alchemical, Adam? You mean changing? I mean, I guess alchemy is mutation, right? That's if I think that through. Alchemy is mutation. And so yeah, you're right. You have an alchemical sampler. Exactly that. Exactly that. So I'm going to make fudge tomorrow. I can't wear these glasses and talk to you guys. They sit right in my eyes. Tomorrow I'm going to make fudge. I'm going to make bourbon balls. I'm going to make Irish cream truffles. And maybe eggnog truffles. Alchemy seeks to reconfigure nature in accordance with our will. Well, we're already sort of doing that, aren't we? I mean, that's what chemistry is, and pharmaceuticalness. Six, reconfiguring nature in accordance with our will. Right. With our will, interesting. With our will instead of God's will, or with our will is God's will? Can our will be separate from that of God? Those are the big the big questions, right? Can one have will separate from God? Is it our will we are reconfiguring nature into, or are we configuring nature into God's will? This is the argument I have with people who are against birth control because they think that it is taking the power away from God. And my response is, if God didn't want us to have birth control, we would have birth control. Chemistry and banking. Okay, I can trace chemistry easily. Adam is too smart for his thesaurus. No face. One of these days, we will convince Adam to come and share online with us directly all of his wisdom. And we will all sit around and watch him. See the background. The background keeps going all black. It's very confused. So banking is a descendant of alchemy. Interesting. Tell me more. Tell me more. And how is banking related to the invention of corporations? Those are very related, interrelated. I would think all of this is children of alchemy. I just can't see the genealogy from alchemy to banking unless money is alchemy. Money is magic. Is money alchemy? Tries to turn lead into gold, so there is an economic component to the process. Got it. Oh, so you have to have both the chemistry and what to do with the money. Interesting. It never occurred to me to consider banking as part of that process, Adam, because alchemy isn't a thing that ever happened. Nobody could turn lead into gold. Although my understanding now is that we could turn lead into gold. It just costs more money than the gold is worth. It costs more money than the gold is worth to turn. Yes, it's what he said. It's just one aspect. Does it really, Adam? So how much of capitalism is tied up in alchemy? That's the next question. How much of capitalism is tied up in alchemy? That was Rapunzel, Cricket. That was Rapunzel. The children's story about turning straw into gold is Rapunzel. Yeah. Okay. Got it. Handled. My ears gave out for a minute. So we have alchemy. We also have this statement right at the beginning of the chapter. Capitalism, that to the extent that it seeks unlimited growth, is totally alchemical. Yes. Rumpelstiltskin. Yeah, Rumpelstiltskin. Rapunzel is let down your hair. Rumpelstiltskin is slightly less known even than Rapunzel, if I remember correctly. So this sentence, it had been a full century in the 40s, in the 1940s already. It had been a full century. So now it's been 100, almost 200 years. It had been a full century since individuals began to realize, with the force of a religious revelation, that life is transhuman, that the human beings we know as we presently are is a transitional phenomenon on the way to either extinction or something else. But popular culture still lacked public ways to express this familiar, disturbing, liberating, uncanny truth. So interestingly, it took 100 years for pop culture to come up with language to talk about the fact that man is evolving. That's interesting in and of itself. But then he traces all of the different lines, and he talks almost exclusively this chapter about the X-Men. Soros wrote a book called The Alchemy of Finance. What did I say was liberating, Adam? I've already forgotten it. I get on these tracks and I forget what I'm saying. This liberating, uncanny truth. Yeah, popular culture still lacked public ways to express this familiar, disturbing, liberating, uncanny truth. That liberating. I mean, different constraints, maybe? Different constraints? So he talks almost exclusively this chapter about the X-Men. And there's a very interesting is mutant power not so sure it's liberating. I think it's just changing constraints, right? They're just different constraints. One could apparently, I mean, it's liberating in the same way having your hands freed, but then your feet tied is liberating, right? They're just different things you can and can't do now. Or being untied from the chair, but having a chain to the counter, right? Liberating. It is freeing in some ways. But you're still bound in other ways. I remember, I don't know. Yeah, Adam, I hear what you're saying. Cricket, did you guys read comic books? Did you guys follow the X-Men when you were kids? I am curious if you remember the phenomenon of the X-Men as a kid and what impression you got what impression of him you got, what impression of the X-Men you got from when you were a kid. So I'm just curious because I remember they talk about a scene in just a panel, and I remember this panel of the X-Men, from the X-Men, of people holding up signs against mutants, and the signs said, "God hates mutants." Or this I don't remember, but it's similar. Leviticus 20:15 being sprayed over the sign, Professor Xavier's school. You didn't. Your folks wouldn't have been inclined to buy comics. Scholastic Book Service and Time Magazine. I got National Geographic World. And my folks wouldn't have been inclined to buy comic books, but they would have allowed me to buy them. I don't remember buying comic books, but I remember having friends who were enthralled with the X-Men. Just enthralled with the X-Men. Claire Booth Luce was kind of a mutant. Okay. How is she kind of a mutant, Adam? Not that I'm not looking that up as we speak. That what happened, Cricket. You got Mad Magazine. Yes. I can see you getting Mad Magazine, and your allowance went towards records or books. That makes sense. That makes sense. So I remember this panel with the protesters protesting and saying God hates mutants. And Jeffrey Kripal here makes a direct line from those kinds of themes to this transhumanism idea and the idea of mutation and evolution for one mutant finally to say another, even the birds and the bees managed to figure this out, you moron. It's genetic evolution. It's the whole point of the X-Men school. So mutation can't happen without the genetic evolution. So therefore, ergo, a whole lot of sex in the X-Men, which is very, very different sort of than before, I think. It wasn't, I mean, they weren't so deeply tied to each other, right? Y'all are quiet tonight. Tell me how Claire Booth Luce was a mutant. So finally, with this chapter, yeah, somebody was the first person to have blue eyes. So maybe somebody will be the first person to fly. I mean, exactly. Exactly that, Cricket. And Adam, again, exactly that. It's always a fight. It's always a fight. There's always a fight. She and Henry Luce sued the power of time to transform national politics and culture. Wow, Adam. Interesting. A conservative figure. Ambassador to Italy, Presidential Medal of Freedom. Oh. Reagan gave her the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Wow. Very nice. Very nice. So this is, they talk about how they spend a lot of time, the author spends a lot of time. You bought the Archies. Oh. Very nice. He spends a lot of time talking about how mutancy and mutant powers and mutant abilities tend to present around the time of puberty, and how there is this concept that what's actually going on is that we are socialized out of believing and remembering that we have these powers. and that in fact we must forget about the powers that we the powers that we have, that we get as teenagers. We have to subsume those and not remember them. So you'll forget about your own human potential, about our own superpowers in order to survive. You had a crush on Archie. Archie was a cutie. I wanted to be like Betty and Veronica. I wanted to be like a mix of the two of them. I didn't like either of them separately. I liked Betty seemed like too much of a goody two shoes to me. Not that I wasn't a goody two shoes, because I was. I absolutely was a goody two shoes. Well, Adam, didn't Professor X take away Jean Grey's powers? Didn't he bind her powers? And her powers are pretty freaking strong, that's the reason he bound them, if I recall correctly. Although now we're getting into a story of a man binding a woman's powers because they would be too destructive if allowed to be unleashed. So a man has to bind a woman's powers, right? Not my favorite story. Not my favorite story. And we also then get into, let me find it. As I go to find it, I find other things. So I don't know, Adam, what do you think? How strong could they be if they could be taken away? Of course it did. I think it's happened more than a couple of times that a woman's powers were too, right? Just they're too. Well, I think part of the reason for the patriarchy, frankly, is witch hunts. I think that's part of the reason for the patriarchy. I think powerful women were targeted and killed. And that left a vacuum that we've not yet managed to fill. It is the conundrum of powers. And you make a really good point, Adam. If just getting new powers, and he talked about this a little in the chapter, didn't he? Just getting new powers means that you're having fights with different powers. On the other hand, that's the history of human evolution, right? First it was sticks, and then it was guns, and now it's bombs and drones, right? And as our alchemical abilities proceed, we will come up with even different ways to commit warfare on each other. Indeed. That is, I mean, what is the point of the powers then, I guess? More powers, more more money, more problem. More money, more problem. More money, more problems. That is for sure. So there is an interesting bit about Jules Verne and Jules Verne's still unexplained ability, unexplainable reality that he predicted so many things, including the dimensions of the command module on Apollo. So the Verne effect is our own innate ability to paranormally predict and create or author our own future. Yeah, Adam. Hey, Shaquille. I was thinking about you earlier today. I noticed that in my analytics, it shows that I have audience from India, and I thought directly of you, Shaquille. It's really nice to see you. I agree, Adam. What use is the power being made? What use is the power? For what are you going to do with it? Right? And why do you want special power? You want special power that nobody else has? I mean, it's just a different sort of arms race. It turns evolution into an arms race. I suppose evolution. Orwell did that too, predict the future. Yes, Cricket. Yes. Merry Christmas to you, Shaquille. Merry Christmas to you. See, I did red and green today for you guys. Special. Janelle, you're being quiet. Are you still here? I did like all of the idea. I mean, this is an idea I hold, is that all of these phenomena that we see around us, we will eventually be able to explain through science. It's not that these things don't exist. Just like germs. Oh, you're painting. Okay. Just like germs existed before we knew about them. I mean, germs existed before we knew they were a thing. They existed and they were real. In that same way, there's other things that exist that we don't know about or necessarily even theorize about. The modern world oscillates between Huxley and then Orwell. That that um it's not wrong. It's not wrong. It is a happy Sunday. It is a happy Sunday. So what do you guys think? Do you think? But we did know about germs. We didn't name them, but certainly we knew their effects. Right. We knew their effects, and we know the effects of other things, right? We see the effects. We see the phenomenon happening, but they're not replicatable. I mean, he has not talked about Ursula at all yet, Cricket. He did get to Scientology, and I'm going to find the page. But we didn't think it was germs. We thought it was miasma or, I mean, we explained it in words and terminology that we could understand, right? We explained it in words and terminology we could understand. One of the reasons, I mean, witches had cats. That means they didn't have mice and rats, and they didn't get sick. I am right there, Adam. Thank you. So, we're talking about the Verne effect and Star Trek. And in the early years of remote viewing, Puthoff and Swan were members of Scientology, a new religion founded by a very well-known science fiction writer, L. Ron Hubbard. Both men would leave Scientology, but Swan has been quite clear that his early psychical feats would have been impossible had there been in me an absence of the transcendental structural ideas presented by Hubbard. So let's go back a little. Let's back up. Let's back up and read to y'all for a few paragraphs. Susan, how are you, my dear? It is really good to see you. I have missed you very much. So let me read to you guys for a few paragraphs, since this is the first entree of Scientology in the book. No swarms of trolls. We had a few the other night, didn't we, Cricket? A couple, maybe yesterday morning, a couple of trolls. Annoying. I know, brain fog. I just sent it, actually. I didn't think to send it until just now when you got it. So, my bad. You're feeling a bit better? Are you ready for Christmas, Susan? I sat this afternoon and read this chapter, and then I got ready for the live, and well, my daughters and my husband wrapped gifts. So now the tree is up, and the gifts are wrapped. Most of the gifts are wrapped. Maybe all of them. And tomorrow I have to make the candy. Just about ready? Yeah. Tomorrow I'm making fudge and truffles and bourbon balls. Um, and my youngest is going to make Christmas dessert. She said she wants to make chocolate mousse. So we are going to have chocolate mousse for Christmas dessert, which sounds lovely. I am still deciding whether I'm going to make the pumpkin pie or not. Okay, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to read to you from this chapter just a few paragraphs. Like the secret life of any power, there are competing narratives here. Claims and counterclaims, much debate about what actually happened, and even more debate about whatever happened really means. What whatever happened really means. Consider, for example, a key player in the story, Edwin May. May, an accomplished and published author, expert on low energy experimental nuclear physics, joined the SRI. SRI is it's a psychic effects research program. Joined the SRI team in 1975 for the military. He directed the research program there from 1985 until 1991, after which he shifted his affiliation to another U.S. defense contractor where he continued his involvement with government-sponsored parapsychology until 1995 when the Stargate program at Fort Meade was finally shut down. Did she? I'll send you some bourbon balls, brain fog. They're easy to make. May's importance is signaled by the fact that he presided over an astonishing 70% of the total funding and a full 85% of the data collection for the government's 22-year involvement in parapsychological research. The key point here with respect to May is that he is extremely dubious about most of the more extreme claims, and he is convinced that at least some of the parapsychological phenomena are very real. The phenomena, he argues, will eventually be explained through the principles of physics, that is, through the nature and behavior of matter and the structure of space-time. May describes his final conclusions as materialist. That is, he is convinced that the final and fundamental nature of reality is matter. You think so, Adam? Another physicist, Russell Targ, sees things differently. I think you may be right, Adam. I think that Kripal comes to this with an already established underlying belief system that supports all of this happening. And I think he's an unbiased reporter. Another physicist, Russell Targ, sees things differently. Okay, so he wants to make two observations. The second is if we focus on the deeply personal descriptions of those who are actually experience these things, what we encounter is a rich spectrum of mythical, sci-fi, and superhero illusions. Such mythical patterns appear to be nearly irresistible. Consider the following. Science writer Jim Schnabel has described McGonagall's psychic abilities to detect radioactive material as green and glowing as the kinds of talents one might imagine in comic book superheroes. Historically speaking, the superhero illusion is deeper than probably realized, since it was McGonagall's friend and teacher of the out-of-body experience, Robert Monroe, who produced the early radio shows of The Shadow, a clear and unambiguous precursor of the later superhero comics. Nor is it an accident that McGonagall has used expressions like the Verne effect and titled one of his books Mind Trek, an obvious allusion to Star Trek. And then the information about L. Ron Hubbard. But here we are back to this sci-fi thing. Yes, Adam. Yes, I would concur. In another sci-fi spirit, Washington Post journalist Jack Anderson, once a harsh skeptic but now a self-described firm believer, opens his foreword to Paul Smith's History of Remote Viewing with the phrases psychic warfare and straight from the pages of pulp fantasy magazines. So now we're back. We're back. The shadow's a precursor. We are back to this idea of psychic warfare. And if all we're doing is finding new and more, only the shadow knows. That's hilarious, Adam. Only the shadow knows this. So if we're only getting these, if we're only coming up with these, what's the use of the powers? To what effect? And furthermore, I think, Adam, you make a very good point. Here's what I know about the US military is that if there was any research that remote viewing was effective and replicatable, then the military would be investing in remote viewing. And they're not. So I will remain convinced that some people have supernatural experiences and esoteric supernatural experiences of some manner, shape, or form. Exactly, Adam. And, I did find it interesting, and Sophia isn't here, but, Sophia has said over and over again to me that doodling is really important to writing. Sophia has said that several times. And I thought it was really interesting that the doodling was more productive according to the reports. The doodling was more productive than describing things verbally or using words. Yeah, I think so, Adam. I feel like I'm just go I feel like I'm never discussing anything, I'm never getting into the meat of anything, I'm just hearing, and this comes from that, and that comes from this, and this comes from that. There's a lot of meat there, but he's not he the I don't I don't know. I don't feel like there's anything of his to grab a hold of. I don't feel like he's I don't feel like there's a voice. I feel like it's a listing of things that go together. It Maybe this is an advanced book. How is your experience reading it, Adam? Do you find that there's something in there, a voice of a voice of telling a story? It feels like it's just dropping data. It feels like we're just being given little data bits, this happened and then that happened. You're in Oakland, there's no there. Brain fog, he does talk specifically about how the X-Men come to live in San Francisco and how that is very pertinent to the entirety of the story. It's very useful as a catalog, so it has to be used as a jumping off point. Yeah. I would I would appreciate this book so much more with lectures to tie it together. And I am not the lecturer to bring it all together. But I could see that it would be an excellent college class with a bunch of stuff around it. I would really enjoy that. Guys, while you're here, I need to come up with a reading and conference focus idea for a 1 credit. What linguistic something um I can kind of research. The last time I did this, I talked about how to create community, I think is what I talked about. Linguistic ways of creating community. Do you guys have any other ideas of what might be an interesting thing to read and learn about as a cultural study related to linguistics? I'm sure I could relate this somehow. It's just not coming to me right at the moment. First Minnesota goodbye, y'all. It is time. It is time for the first Minnesota goodbye. The time has flown. Things are very busy. I have got a ton to do for Christmas yet. Orion is sleeping away happily. Yes, first Minnesota goodbye. It's so much fun. It's so much more fun. Yeah, see, if I look over on YouTube, that is a pretty background, isn't it, you guys? can use this one as a winter background, maybe all winter. It's awfully pretty. For those of you who were here late, I want to show it again since it is so freaking adorable. Here is what Janelle got. For first in. Isn't that adorable? Anything related to applied linguistics, Adam. It could be culture. I just need to have, like, I'm going to do research on how to culturally create online community. I don't know. It needs to be, I need to create my brain isn't working right to be able to tell you exactly what I need to be able to do. I need to create an annotated bibliography on some interesting subject related to linguistics. That's what I need to do. And I need to have, isn't it adorable, Susan? It's just adorable. And I need to have, you know, I'm going to make an annotated bibliography about what? What am I going to make an annotated bibliography? Let me look and see what the last annotated bibliography I did was. Hold on. Oh, I've done an annotated bibliography on anxiety and second language acquisition. That's one I've done. Comic books and speech act theory. Ooh. Always with the good ideas, Adam. Always with the good ideas. Notebook. Cricket does need bigger tech. Comic books. I like that. What do you mean? He needs bigger tech for what, brain fog? I think he needs more than his phone. I am in agreement with that. I am in agreement with that. Mandy is really into K-pop and other Asian music. Yes, she is. Oh. Online community building. He needs bigger than a phone. I know he needs bigger than a phone. Definitely needs bigger than a phone. I'm impressed that he's doing it all on a phone. Language is alchemy. Oh my goodness. Adam, I'm going to need you to find me a reading list for that. That's going to be interesting to source. Languages, alchemy, and speech act theory. Nice. Okay, that'll work. An online community building. Something inside of all of that. Got to go do my 1 credit independent study. Something about how language and culture create a collective subtle body and actually give us the powers promised in comic books. Hold on, Adam. Because that one takes a screenshot. So I gotta go find myself so I can get a screenshot. Making videos on the phone is actually easy, but I would be better off with the laptop to go live because I'd want to do screen sharing. Yes, although, yeah, that's why I didn't like the tablet, Cricket. I didn't like the tablet is because I couldn't do screen sharing until I got the laptop or the desktop system. And I do fine with the tablet and the desktop. I don't need, I prefer having the tablet for mobile and the desktop system available. It's making my head appear and disappear. I don't like it. There's a Christmas one up today. Did you post a Christmas one? Hold on. I did see that one. Everybody, you need to go watch Cricket. You're getting more and more views with every one you post. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. There it is. You guys need to go see it. For sure. For sure. So, does that bring us to the end of the chapter? I kind of quit talking like it did. Let me see where we were. Mysticism and witches even become mutants is something um it is interesting. It's interesting. I'm losing my thoughts. So I'm going to quit talking unless Adam's got more hors d'oeuvre or alchemical concoctions or charcuterie. I like the alchemical concoctions. There's not many of you here. What book would you guys like to read next? I think we talked about reading biography of L. Ron Hubbard. I think we talked about reading Barefaced Messiah. What do you guys think about reading that one next? Because this book, we just finished chapter 4. The chapters in this book are long, but we are halfway. We are halfway. Oh, thank you, Brain Fog. I did it special for Christmas. Eyeshadow is not my strong suit, so anytime I get props on the eyeshadow, I appreciate it. Is a very good book. Okay. I'd like to read something with more of a narrative structure. Oh, Adam, you didn't tell me how your experience is reading the book. Do you feel like it has narrative structure for Oh, you were saying it has narrative structure, but you need to go out. It's things to chew on. Exactly. You've listened to it on audiobook? Yeah, the other advantage of Barefaced Messiah is that it is on audiobook. It is on audiobook. Sorry, guys. I'm just looking at what Cricket sent me for the third Minnesota Goodbye since we're coming up on the second Minnesota Goodbye. I am going to get a green screen that works. The one I got is ineffective. It was almost, believe it or not, it seemed to make the background worse when I set up the green screen I bought, it made it worse. So I need to get one that makes the green screen perfectly taut, which mine was not, of course. How's Drug Boy doing in there, huh? Hey, how you doing? Are you all a druggie? Are you all a druggie? This book is good as a catalog. John Atack interviewed an author that tackled this subject with a bit more depth. Ooh. Email me that link, Adam. What's the name of the author? John Atack does some interesting stuff. Yeah, tell me who that let me find that one, Adam, because I would love to read it. Okay, Adam. Thank you. So I need to know, what do you guys think of this book? We're halfway through. Do you want to finish it? Do we want to finish it? Are you guys enjoying the conversations, even if you're not reading it? Or do Adam and I need to read it ourselves and have our own little email conversation about it? Because I don't want to I want book club to be something that's fun for everybody. So if people aren't into this book, I'm just not sure. See, I'm just not sure. I always second guess myself. So I need you all to help me with the second guessing. Have any of you seen Have any of you guys seen A Haunting in Venice? It is an Hercule Poirot movie that appears to be a scary movie. But I'm not clear if it is a scary movie because it's listed under crime, drama, horror, mystery, thriller. And I do not do horror movies. Yes, Janelle, I know that's, and I'm enjoying reading it, but I don't get the sense that all of y'all are enjoy reading it. And if we want to stop and move on to okay, Adam. If we want to read Barefaced Messiah, we can totally do that. That would be absolutely fine with me. So, the question on the table is, have any of you seen A Haunting in Venice? Because I need to know if it's too scary to watch. I love Hercule Poirot. I love Hercule Poirot. Not that I can ever say his name. Really, Adam? It's an interesting conversation starter. I'm not sure how much I'd understand. It's a lot, Cricket. I'm sure Adam is getting a lot more out of it than I do, even. And I've got a relatively esoteric background compared to most people. So it does sound like a mystery thriller movie, but it had horror listed. And I avoid, I avoid Freddy Krueger. I avoid Halloween. I avoid scary movies, horror movies. But if it's a thriller mystery, I might be able to do it. So, and there's a seance involved, and they appear to be wanting to include all of this supernatural stuff, which is really interesting in light of the book we've just been reading, including the supernatural in a mystery that Hercule needs to solve, right? Not that that surprises me. Hercule would be the one you would want to solve that mystery. Monsieur Perrault will get to the bottom of things. I don't. It looks. See here. I'll show you. It looks scary. It looks scary. Hold on. Let me show you. It looks like a scary movie. It sounds.
I've seen a million of these so-called psychics, each one a fake.
I do not believe in psychics.
Come with me to a seance. Spot the con I can't.
See, they're trying. They're trying to make it awfully scary. Okay, make sure and send it to me too, Adam. See, they're trying to make it scary. You see?
Detective, you are here to discredit me, but I can talk to the dead.
See, they're trying to make it horror movie-ish. And I'm not big. It's on Prime, Janelle. It's on Prime. Maybe I'm watching it tonight. We shall see. I thought one of you might have seen it and could give me some input as to how it is. So, do we have... Never trust a promo. That's a good point. Do we have a consensus? Are we continuing the book, or are we moving on to he is a good actor. Let's see. Okay, guys, we'll do it this way. Look at that. Dusty! Merry Christmas to you, my dear. It is good to see you. Are you all ready for Christmas? What's new and different? He is very talented. There are many a talented person who are not good people. It is unfortunate. It is an unfortunate truism that those blessed with talent are not always blessed with morals and ethics. So that is true. We should expect people to be who they are. That is one of the best pieces of advice I've ever gotten. Expect people to be who they are. Don't expect them to be different than who they are. That will rarely happen. You can trust people to be who they are. And that is only as far as you can trust them. So don't trust drug addicts not to take drugs. You need to trust instead that they'll take drugs until they've proven that they won't take drugs, right? It's just that's how trust needs to work. You trust people to be who they are. Oh, yay for Santa. Yay for Santa. Okay, guys, it looks like we are moving over to Barefaced Messiah. DJI equipment, new used gimbal and microphone. Yeah, I've been looking at this fancy new camera they have at Costco that has the camera and the gimbal all together in one unit. It looks so cool. It looks very cool. It looks much cooler than I can justify needing, unfortunately. So we're going to have maybe Christmas in July. We will definitely see how things go. But I cannot, just from streaming at home, I don't have any justification for this fancy camera with a gimbal. I would need to be more active out demonstrating, and I'm not comfortable doing that right now. So, how are we doing with answers? Yeah, it looks like what we're going to do is switch over to Barefaced Messiah, although we do have a good number of votes wanting Mutants and Mystics. So I will keep reading it. How about this? I will read both books. Astounding. John W. Campbell, Isaac Asimov, Robert Heinlein, L. Ron Hubbard, and the Golden Age of Science Fiction. Interesting. Well, that looks very interesting. And it's on Kindle, and it's on audiobook. Wow, Adam. This looks very interesting. Oh, well, hold on a second, guys. I was going to give you the link. Let me find another way to share the link. There we go. Astounding was a magazine, too. John Atack interviewed the author. Let me try dropping that here this way. Okay, that's the link. There we go. That's that. And now we have John Atack interviewing Alec Navala Lee. Who's the author? Alec Navala Lee. Alec Navala Lee. Ha ha! There it is. Look at this. So this is what kind of backgrounds, Dusty? So how about this? For those of you who are continuing to read, who want the bare-faced Messiah, I will continue, or who want Mutants and Mystics, I will continue to read the chapters, a chapter a week for Mutants and Mystics, and we will bring the discussion in for Barefaced Messiah, but we will start Barefaced Messiah for next week. What kind of artwork, Dusty? Are you wanting background? What kind of artwork? But you don't need me to get in the middle between you and Cricket. I'm sure Cricket's got all kinds of ideas. I'm really glad that shadow effect isn't making you guys crazy. It's a metaphysical effect. I'm doing it with my mind. That's actually my shadow, right? There we go. It's actually my shadow showing up or not showing up, as the case may be. Third Minnesota goodbye, y'all. Dusty, you just snuck in under the wire. Just barely. So what's everybody got planned for Christmas dinner? We are going to have prime rib and broccoli and Yorkshire pudding. I'm not sure what else. Mulled wine. Okay, Dusty. I use for my AI art, Dusty, I use I'll send you a link to what I use, Dusty. I go here, Dusty, for my AI art. And this is what it looks like. I will show you. And then you say create with AI. And you tell it what you want to create. Right? You tell it what size you want. Give me something to tell the AI, you guys. Tears? Were there tears, brain fog? Why tears, brain fog? Oh, I'm sorry, brain fog. I'm sorry. That's... I am really sorry. You can be snipped. Brian! You won, Brian. Brian, you won. Third Minnesota goodbye. Murder by the book. I gotta write that down too. In my notebook. Okay. You're not a big Christmas fan anyway? Poet does win. Shall we show him what he won, Cricket? Oh my goodness. Check it out, Brian. The Great Carmona and Schrodinger's cat. I love that for you, Brian. I'm going to be going live Christmas Eve, Christmas night, Christmas Day, brain fog. I'll be live Christmas Day if you would like to join. In fact, we could even do a panel of it if you'd like. That might be fun. We could do an impaneled. Hi, Amy. How are you? You have pizza and play games. That sounds so much fun. Isn't it great, Adam? Have pizza and play games sounds like a lot of fun, Amy. We are going to have Christmas dinner and open presents Christmas Eve. And then we have different family and Christmas breakfast and open presents Christmas Day. And then we hang out. It would be fun, wouldn't it, Brain Fog? We could do it together a little bit. We could even do wheel questions together if you want. Or we could find some other thing to do. Amy, how did the last weekend of the market go for you? I hope it was busier than you said it was yesterday. I hope it got busier. I didn't make it down to the Saturday market for Christmas this year. I will go live at the same time I always go live if I end up going live. It will be 6 p.m. my time. You're working Christmas Day, you have New Year's Day off, but for your cousins and I, shuffle the old folks around. Mom comes home New Year's Day. Nice. I am glad, Amy. I am very glad. I am very glad that you did well. I was concerned when you said it was slow. Wheel questions for Christmas? Okay. You get it. Brain fog. You go pull wheel questions from the AI. See if you get different wheel questions than I do. My AI, you still don't know if you'll do it next year? It's a lot of work and sitting out in the cold. Have you guys seen Amy's artwork? Most of you probably haven't seen Amy's artwork. Let me find a picture. Let me find picture. Let me find picture. I know, Amy, I could have sworn that I had more than that one picture. Oh, I know what it is. Ha ha! It's not that I have pictures there. I know where it is. You'll sick Papa Cat on it. It'll be an excellent, excellent, excellent solution to that problem is to sit waiting for the wheel Santa Claus. Yes, indeed, wheel Santa Claus. So I want to show you guys Amy's amazing work. Check this out. These are eggs, you guys. She blows out the egg and then she cuts this hole, and these are inside the egg, they're ornaments. Here, you can see it better with this one. Let me show you. There we go. That's exactly what I want to be showing you. See? Look at this. Aren't they adorable? She wraps them with fabric and decorates the inside and the outside and puts ribbon on them. They're just beautiful. They're just beautiful. So that's the art that Amy makes, y'all. I think it's lovely. Frog and toad eggs. So lovely. Frog and toad eggs to New York. Cricket just sent me some questions. I'm going to have to put those on hold for Christmas. Ooh. These are excellent, Cricket. Sunrise, how are you? Boy, you guys, everybody's showing up after third Minnesota goodbye today. How are you doing, Sunrise Dawn? Brian, your email's on your page, right, Brian? So I can email this file to you? Frog and toad eggs sound adorable. Here's a frog and toad egg, you guys. Check it out. Frog and toad eggs. No blowing. You cut out the hole with cuticle scissors. Not sisters, I'm sure. Look at the frog and toad egg. Aren't those adorable, you guys? Look. Look at that. They're so cute. They're so cute. Christmas and New Year's? Excellent. So we can ask both on Christmas Day. Aren't they lovely, Cricket? Sunrise, Orion is doing well. When I brought him home, they gave him the meds and they said meds every 8 hours. And that was sort of killing me because I usually need to sleep 9 to 10 hours. And so it was interrupting my sleep. I wasn't getting enough rest. And 8 hours seemed to be a little bit too far. It's like, do we need to increase his trazodone dosage? And when I went into the vet on Friday, they didn't increase his dosage. But what they said is I can give it every 6 to 8 hours, which means tut tut, what, Adam? What deserved the tut tut? Which means that I can give him his meds every 6 hours during the day and 6 or 7 hours during the day, and it's keeping him a little more tranquilized during the day, which was starting to be a problem because he's feeling better enough that he wants to be better. Her website, she's on Etsy, and her Etsy store is Amy's Art, and you can find it, Cricket, right here. There you go. There is Amy's Art. There is Amy's Art. So again, guys, I will be live on Wednesday for Christmas Day at my regular time. We'll be doing a Christmas wheel with Brain Fog. It'll be Brain Fog and I together, unless something changes. And then I will see you Saturday for Bacon Baking Hour, as always. And then Sunday, oh, it is, you're right, Adam. Tut Tut is a frog and toad thing. You are right. I was wrong. I missed it. Tut Tut, Tut Tut. Was it Tut Tut? Was it frog and toad? Do frog and toad say tut tut? Nope, that's a different one. I don't know who says tut tut. I think it was a frog and toad thing too, but now I'm thinking I'm not sure. Yes, it's some good dream, isn't he? He is totally and utterly relaxed. So I can give him the meds every 12 to 14 hours. It gives me more time to sleep. And so now I feel a whole lot more rested. I was getting exhausted. And I don't need to give him more pills. I don't he can go 14 hour. He can go rather 8 to 12 hours at night without the meds. But he needs them closer together during the day. So, with that said, y'all, Adam, now it's going to bug me to figure out who says tut tut. I'm going to have to go listen to Frog and Toad and see if it's Frog and Toad that says tut tut. And I have a John Atack interview to watch. I need to learn more about Claire Booth Luce. And next week, we will start reading Barefaced Messiah. Barefaced Messiah is available on Amazon as an audiobook, Dusty, if you're still here. It's still available as an audiobook, or it is available as an audiobook, rather. So, y'all, any other thoughts? Any other comments? Any last words? Go head over to Amy's shop. Buy some Christmas ornaments. They're lovely. I have seen them in person. They're adorable and really nicely crafted. It's nice to see that there are still some handmade things on Etsy. At least one or two. Winnie the Pooh said tut tut. Thank you, Cricket. Tut tut. Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh said tut tut. Okay, everyone. Have a lovely evening. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for, coming to the book club. And I will see you Wednesday. Have a wonderful Christmas.